I'm a third year studying at Drexel University, studying software engineering. If you don't know me, now's your chance. I grew up with Christ in my life, raised by faithful parents to believe in a God and a man named Jesus, who died on the cross for my sins. Although I grew up with this faith, I denied his presence in my life. Throughout high school, I started to lose faith in God and started to have a faith in my own strength. Living a life of a self-centered belief in my own power and influence, I thought that going to a good college, finding an internship, and good networking were fundamentals to a happy life. In my first step to building the resume of my life, I was expected to go to a college in Maryland, where it would be a place to start a good career. I had my mind set on going to that college, but God had other plans for me at Drexel. I grew up in a suburban area, a county named Howard County. And this county, according to Forbes' list of richest counties, is the fourth richest county in the United States. I grew up in a highly privileged area, but my family was considered below the average income in the county, but I was still spoiled beyond belief. Going to Drexel was scary and intimidating. I didn't want to live in a city that was much, much, much dirtier than the suburbs. Life would be completely different. For some insane reason, my parents and I thought it'd be a really good idea to go to Drexel. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but thinking about it now, the physical circumstances of not knowing anybody at Drexel to the uncomfortable feeling of being in a city were unfavorable. Upon realizing the circumstances after the first Drexel summer orientation that I went to, I realized how horrible of a mistake I had made. I was going to be miserable. I felt that God really abandoned me. At the start of my freshman year, I met this brother, who I'm close with today during orientation, who happened to introduce me to a couple of other guys. Sooner or later, these same guys became some of my closest friends. We studied together, we ate together, we hung out together. You could call us a band of 2016 goons. We found out we were all Christian and wanted to find a church. And quite amusingly, we all got water bottles from GCC during move-in day. And we were interested in checking GCC out. And it's kind of crazy how things unfolded from here. I met this crazy sister my first time at GCC in front of Towers. She was super friendly, super nice, and was a troll lightning rod. And I ended up being in the same family group as her. That day at my first Sunday service, there were a couple of things that struck me as really different. One thing was seeing how welcoming people at GCC were, even though I had never seen them before. But the thing that really hit me was seeing how the community of GCC worshiped. I felt jealous of how intimate people seemed with God. I looked around and wondered what made everyone's worship different from mine. From that day, I made a decision to give my old relationship with God another chance. I went to GCC's Passion Conference a month later, and there, I started to revisit the idea of what a relationship with Christ is like. On the first day of Passion, as I was praying, my family group leader prayed for me and revealed to me the relationship that God wanted me to have with him. And in that moment, I saw how Christ desired intimacy with me. I saw his hand stretched out to me, desiring for me to get to know him. And I was moved to go deeper with Christ. My life turned 180 degrees. The life I had been controlling, I now felt compelled to surrender into his hands. My unfaithfulness turned to a heart that was more willing to put faith in him. At the beginning of college, the unknowable, unforeseen circumstances seemed grim and disappointing, but God still had a plan that used these circumstances to end up becoming the best times of my life and getting to know Christ here in this place at Drexel University, in Philadelphia, at GCC, in God's kingdom. In my freshman year, God revealed to me two verses that I still hold on to this day. 2 Timothy 2:13. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot disown himself. And Jesus says in John 10:14-15, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Thanks.